morning to everyone. In the last class, we had seen regarding the sources of energy, right? Which were the two different sources of energy. One was renewable, one was non-renewable source of energy. The second thing was we had seen the various different energy forms where we can derive energy or nothing but electricity. Okay, so we generally derive electricity from these five basic energy sources. What are those five basic energy sources? There are many more also, but you have only five. What are those five? The first one is thermal energy, second is wind energy, third is hydro energy, nothing but water, energy derived from water, or electricity which is derived from water. There is electricity which we can derive from solar energy, nothing but from sun. Okay, there is an electricity which we can derive from bioenergy. Okay, so these are the various different forms from where we can derive energy in the form of either heat or electricity. Okay, so today we'll be discussing, we had seen a good source of energy, right? What were the various different forms of good source of energy? Then we had also, now we will be seeing regarding the five forms from where five different ways by which we can derive energy or electricity. Okay, the first thing is thermal energy. Yeah, so thermal energy is generally obtained from thermal power plant. So from the area from where we can derive energy is called as power plant. Okay, so what is the area, the plant which derives energy? Okay, it is called as a power plant. Okay, so what is happening in this, how energy is derived from this thermal power plant, we will be seeing. So simple thing is, what is done is, as you know, coal is burnt. Okay, have you seen coal? I don't know if you have seen or not. Coal, or simple thing, what is done is, say suppose firewood. Have you seen firewood? So it is type of a firewood, that coal. Okay, so what is done? Coal is burnt. Okay, so what is done? This coal is burnt, and water is employed. Yeah, so water is used inside a boiler. Okay, so say suppose this is an example of a thermal power plant inside a house. Okay, say suppose you have taken a cooker. Yeah, say suppose you have taken a cooker and you are burning something. Okay, and producing heat, and you have kept water inside this cooker. Okay, so you have kept water inside this cooker. So what will happen whenever you burn coal or firewood and you supply heat to that cooker, pressure cooker? What will happen? Steam will come out, right? वाफ येवपाक लागतली भायर. So steam will come out, and what will happen is nothing but this steam can be used to produce electricity. Okay, what this steam can be used for? To produce electricity. How it is produced, I will be telling you all. So what is done? You are burning something and you are using water. Okay, so what are you doing? You are converting water to a gaseous form, that is nothing but vapor, and that vapor is used to generate electricity. Okay, so how this is done, I will just tell you all. Okay, so what is done, as you can see over here, there are various different big processes which are going on, and inside that, this over here there is heat which is supplied by burning coal, and nothing but there are these power plants which are set up. So basic example we will take regarding this power plant which we will be setting inside our house. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken pressure cooker. Okay, we have taken a tennis ball, and we have taken a dynamo. Dynamo is nothing but it is a generator of electricity. Okay, it can be also called as generator. Okay, this will generate electricity generally. Yeah, it will convert this mechanical energy into electrical energy. Okay, so mechanical energy into electrical energy. So whenever this tennis ball will move, this tennis ball is like a type of a fan. Okay, it is a type of a fan with blades. Yeah, so whenever this steam will flow from this pipe, there is one pipe which is employed, right? So what will happen whenever the steam from the pipe will be moving on this tennis ball? What will happen to this tennis ball? This tennis ball will start to rotate, or the blades of this tennis ball will start to rotate. Okay, so what will happen? Mechanical energy will be produced. Okay, so what will happen is nothing but this will be connected to a dynamo. I don't know if you have seen a dynamo. It is a type of a motor. Okay, so motor is nothing but there is a type of a turbine, or you can say a type of a fan which is fitted. Okay, it is also called as turbine. Yeah, It is also called as turbine. This fan is also called as turbine, the front part, okay, of the motor. So what happens is, whenever this front part will move, what will happen? The generator, okay, there is a mechanism inside the generator that will convert this mechanical energy into electricity. Yeah, so it will convert this mechanical energy into electricity, the generator, and you will get electricity. So such type of such form of energy is called as thermal energy. Okay, so what is this this type of you can say energy called as thermal energy? What we have done in thermal energy, we have taken coal or nothing but firewood. Generally coal is taken as a firewood, okay, and generally what is done is, there is boiler which is present, okay. This pressure cooker is not present in big industries. There are boilers which are present. Boilers are nothing but they are type of pressure cookers only. So what they do, they have water inside them. Yeah, water is completely filled inside them, and what happens is, whenever you supply heat in by burning coal, what you do, you burn this coal. Yeah, so you burn this coal, and what will happen? Heat will be supplied. Yeah, so the inside water will start to heat, and what will happen? The water will get converted into steam, right? So whenever the water will get converted into steam, there is a turbine which is used, okay. What is the job of this turbine? This turbine will rotate, and what will happen? This turbine is connected to a generator, okay. So whenever this turbine will move, what will be produced is nothing but electricity, okay. So electricity will be produced. Yeah, so electricity will be produced whenever the turbine will move and the generator is attached to that turbine. The electricity will be produced. Yeah, so this is how electricity is produced inside many of India's you can say power plants, thermal power plants. Okay, so whatever electricity we get is generally from this thermal power plants. The major source of energy in India as well as the world is from the thermal power plant. Okay, this is how the thermal power plant is made up. Okay, so first the coal is burned into the furnace or of steam boiler. Okay, there is coal which is burnt inside a furnace. Furnace is nothing but place where there is burning of coal which is taking place. Okay, and a steam boiler. Steam boiler is nothing but it is a type of a pressure cooker. Okay, so you need to write that steam boiler. Yeah, it produces steam. Okay, so what this high steam is produced in the boiler, and what is done, this high steam is made to pass through the what? Turbine. Okay, so what will happen? The turbine will start to move. The steam forces rotates the turbine. As you can see, whenever the steam falls on this turbine or this fan, what will happen is nothing but, what will happen to this turbine? The turbine will start to rotate. Okay, so it causes this turbine is connected to the generator. Okay, so what will happen? The generator will do its work and create electricity from this turbine. Okay, the turbine, whenever it moves, it is generally a mechanical energy which is getting converted into electricity. Okay, so this is the simple process which takes place in thermal power plants. Okay, the transmission of electricity is more efficient than transporting coal or petroleum over the same distance. Therefore many thermal power plants are set up near coal or oil fields. If you can see over here, what is done is, generally wherever there is a coal field, wherever you get a coal from the earth's crust, what is done is, at that site only there is thermal power plant which is set up, because to transport coal from that coal hub to the power plant, it is very costly process. Okay, it costs high amount. Okay, so that is not done, because why? Because it is easier to set up a thermal power plant there itself, so that the transportation of coal, the cost of transportation is minimized. Okay, the transportation of electricity is done from there. Now over here in Amona, there is a thermal power plant of Sesa. Okay, so the coal is transported from Vasco to Sesa. The coal is burnt over there. There is electricity which is produced. Okay, and that electricity is being utilized in the state of Goa. Okay, so generally the electricity is transported either from nothing but one place to another. Why? Because transporting electricity is cheaper. Okay, the electricity which is transported, this electricity generated by the generator, to transport this electricity, it is easier, okay, as compared to coal. Yeah, so this was regarding thermal power plant. Now we will be seeing what are the advantages and disadvantages of thermal power plant. Yeah, so generally thermal power plant is easy to set up. Okay, actually the cost is high for setting up, but the process is also a lengthy process. Okay, so advantages are nothing but advantages is it is a cheaper process, okay, as compared to other plants. The efficiency of energy, okay, efficiency of energy produced or nothing but electricity which is produced is high. Okay, the electricity is produced very easily. Okay, so we will see regarding the disadvantages. Yeah, you can also find more advantages of this process. So disadvantages are, it is polluting. Okay, it is a very polluting process. Yeah, so after the burning of the coal and all, the various harmful gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, okay, these are the gases which are produced, which are polluting the environment. Okay, and the second disadvantage is coal is limited in amount. So coal is a generally fossil fuel, okay, or nothing but non-renewable source of energy. Coal is limited in amount. Okay, so hence, since coal is limited in amount, we can't get the fuel supply for burning, and we can't produce electricity. If there is no fuel supply, what will happen? We can't burn. Okay, so when we can't burn, the water we cannot be turned into steam. Okay, so since there is no coal, there won't be any thermal energy which can be produced. Yeah, so this was regarding thermal energy. So next thing we will be seeing is hydro energy, how it is produced. If you can see, there are dams which are built up to produce hydro energy. What is this hydro energy? It is the energy derived from passing water. Whenever the water flows, the hydro power plant is set up. Okay, wherever the water is flowing, there is hydro power plant which is set up, which produces electricity. Yeah. So similar case as in case of you can say your thermal power plant. Yeah, there is a dam which is constructed. Yeah, so what this dam does is nothing but the water is stored at very high pressure. Okay, so the water is blocked, as you can see over here. What is done is water is blocked by putting gates. Okay, you might have seen dams, they have gates. Okay, so water is stored in those, behind those gates. Okay, so there is water is stored. So what is done, whenever you require to generate electricity, what is done is these gates are opened. Yeah, so what is done, these gates are open. So what will happen, this water will try to move from these gates. Yeah, so there is a turbine which is employed. Yeah, this is the turbine. What is the job of the turbine? In the last case we had seen, what is the job of the turbine? To move and convert mechanical energy. Yeah, to produce mechanical energy. Okay, this is the job of a turbine. So what this turbine will do, the turbine will start to rotate. This turbine is connected with a generator. What is the job of the generator? To generate electricity. Yeah, so what this turbine will do, the turbine will rotate. So whenever water will come and you can say hit on this turbine, what this turbine will do, the turbine will start to rotate. Whenever the turbine will rotate, the generator will produce electricity, generate electricity. Okay, and this electricity is generally transported to various different parts. Yeah, so from here the electricity whatever will be produced, it will be transported through the various parts. Okay, and the water which is there, okay, it will start to again move like a river. Okay, it will start to move inside the river. Okay, so this is how the hydro power plant is set up. It is very easy. Yeah, so generally what are the uses of this hydro power plant, how it is produced, we will just see. Hydro power is a electricity. Yeah, it is a thermal power. As I have told you, thermal power is a electricity which is produced by burning coal and water. Okay, so generally that is called as thermal power. This is called as hydropower, which is produced from water. So hydropower is the electricity generated using the energy of falling or running water. Okay, so falling or running water, as you can see, we have seen this was stored water, right? So you can also generate hydropower from falling or running water. Okay, wherever there is flowing water or running water, it can be used. Why? Because it is essential that the turbine should rotate. Okay, if the turbine is not rotating, what will happen? The electricity won't be produced. Okay, so working of the hydropower plant, dam or reservoir is made over a river to collect water in a large amount. As you can see, the dam is made, or dam is constructed to generally what, to store water. Okay, so that the pressure of the water is accumulated. Okay, so with the pressure they are sending that water inside the turbine. Okay, so then the turbine will rotate much faster. Yeah, so this is done in most of the dams. Yeah, there are various dams which do this process. Okay, so water coming from high speed rotates the turbine, as you can see. So what is done, the generally the turbine is rotated. Yeah, rotates the turbine. Whenever there is high speed water which is coming, it will start to rotate the turbine, and in general there is generator which will produce electricity. Yeah, so some hydroelectric power plants just are small canal to channel the river water through a turbine. So there are also smaller hydro power plants where there are small rivers, small canals which have water. Okay, which will help turbine to rotate. So there are various different hydro power plants. There are big hydro power plants, there are small hydro power plants. Okay, so there are various different forms of hydro power plant. This is a bigger, higher or big sized hydro power plant which is present in some state. Okay, there is also hydro power plant where there is water or dam. Okay, in Saravli there is a dam where they produce electricity, I guess. Okay, I don't know exactly, but there are some dams in Gujarat and in Uttaranchal and all those places where there is electricity which is being generated. Yeah, so that is essential. What are the advantages and disadvantages? We will be seeing this. Okay, so what are the advantages of hydropower plant? It is a renewable source of energy. Yeah, water cannot be getting exhausted, it won't get exhausted. So generally the raw material what is used, okay, the water what is used is a renewable source of energy. So water is continuously present. Okay, so water is free of cost. So cost of the raw material, okay, like in case of coal was a very raw material which was very costly. Okay, there was process like digging, there was mining which was required for the extraction of coal from the earth crust. Okay, so here the water is free of cost, it is directly available. These plants are pollution free, there is no pollution like we were burning coal and making pollution. So here there is no pollution which was present. Construction of dam helps to control flood. Okay, so also this construction of dam generally helps to control floods. Okay, so whichever floods come because of the overfilling of the rivers and all those things, these dams helps in that process. Okay, they don't allow rivers to overflow and cause floods. Okay, so what are the disadvantages? Hydropower can be established in some certain locations. It depends on location of river, ocean. Okay, there is a specific location which you require, okay, to set up a hydropower plant, okay, or the dam. So it is not possible for setting it anywhere in this you can say terrain. Okay, so it requires a specific area that is very difficult to find. Okay, so also large area is required to build a dam. The dam, if you have gone to any dam, the area which is utilized is so vast that it is almost around half a kilometer area. Okay, so there is a huge amount of land which is required to set up dams. Okay, also the vegetation submerged below dams produce methane which leads to greenhouse effect. So generally the area behind the dam where you might decide to set up a dam, the area behind the dam will go inside water, and the people and vegetation over there should be relocated to some other place. Okay, they have to be shifted from one place to another, from that place to another place. Okay, so whenever they were building this Anjunar Dam in Goa, they had to shift the people from one place to another. Okay, there were many houseless people who had been shifted to another place. So this is very harmful thing of setting up a dam. Okay, but the one advantage is that you get electricity from this process. Okay, there is a huge amount of electricity which can be utilized in many household okay activities which we do. Okay, so this energy forms of energy is very very important. The third form, that is nothing but wind energy or wind power of the wind. Okay, the electricity which can be generated from wind. Okay, so generally wind energy is generally they are made by making use of windmills. Okay, they are generally I don't know if you have seen or not, there are windmills which are set up, okay, where there is high amount of winds. The regions where there are high amount of winds, there are windmills which are set up. Okay, what is the job of these windmills? The windmill, if you have seen, right, so this is a windmill. Say suppose, what is the job of that windmill is nothing but to rotate. Okay, so whenever wind will hit this is the turbine actually. What will happen? The wind will move this turbine. Okay, what will happen? Whenever the wind will blow, it will start to move this turbine. Okay, so whenever this turbine will move, this turbine is connected with a generator. Okay, so this turbine is generally converted and so what happens is generally whenever wind flows, what happens is this turbine starts to move. The blades of the windmill are nothing but they are turbine. Okay, so whenever these blades will move, this turbine is connected to generator. There is generator which is fixed inside that big blades of that windmill. Okay, inside that windmill there is generator which is fixed. Okay, what will happen? This generator will produce nothing but electricity. Okay, what is the job of generator? To produce electricity. Okay, so you require wind energy which is very very flowing very very fast. Okay, if the wind is very slow, then this turbine won't rotate. Okay, if this turbine or the windmill, the fan of the windmill, if it is not rotating, what will happen? The generator can't produce electricity. Okay, so there will be problem in producing electricity. So we'll see what are the advantages and disadvantages of wind energy. Okay, so it is generally eco-friendly. Why? Because there is nothing which we are burning and causing harm to the environment. Okay, so it is generally a eco-friendly process. Second thing is, wind is the natural phenomenon caused by pressure differentials due to unequal heating on the surface of the earth. It is harnessed in the form of kinetic energy. Okay, so generally wind is there is this wind power plant is generally set up where there is high, or you can say very winds, where the winds are flowing in high, you can say, intensity. Okay, so wind should be very higher in intensity, so for that windmill to rotate. Okay, if there is no high intensity wind which is flowing, then what will happen is nothing but the windmill or the turbine of the windmill will not rotate, and what will happen is electricity won't get generated. What are the advantages? First thing is, it is eco-friendly, it is efficient. Okay, the electricity which is produced, it is in high amounts. Okay, so it is efficient. Second thing is renewable source, no recurring cost. There is no since it is a renewable source, wind is present in n number of amount, it won't get finished any time in this environment. Okay, so generally it is a renewable source of energy. Okay, so it doesn't require any high amount of cost. Okay, so second thing is the limitations. Okay, so we have seen advantages of this wind energy. So we will see about the limitations. What are the limitations? First thing is, wind speed should be greater than 15 kilometers per hour. So the wind speed should be more than 15 kilometers per hour. The wind speed should be very very high. Okay, if the wind speed is not high, unless and until wind speed is high, the turbine won't rotate, the fans of the windmill won't rotate. Okay, and there won't be any electricity which will be produced. So the next thing is must have backup storage facilities like batteries or cells. Okay, it requires a high amount of storage, okay, of the electricity which is produced. It requires batteries for storing of the electricity what is produced. So this is a disadvantage of the windmills. Like in case of thermal power plants, hydro power plants, the electricity was directly transported. Okay, over here what is done is this whatever electricity which will be produced, it will be requiring to nothing but be stored, okay, inside the batteries. Yeah, the batteries are required for storing of the electricity. Next thing is requires land, large land area. The setup of those windmills requires a huge area, okay, where there is high amount of wind. Okay, unless and until there is high amount of wind, there is high amount of land which is available. Unless and until it is present, it won't be able to. We won't be able to set up wind energy plant. Okay, so initial cost is very high. The setup cost of windmill is very high. The cost of setting up that windmill, it is very huge structure. It is not a small structure. Okay, so since it is a very huge structure, the cost of setting up, okay, to make that windmill, to put up that windmill in the place, it requires very high amount of cost, okay, money which is involved. Then next thing is regular maintenance is required. Okay, that windmill requires painting and all those things so that the windmill is in good condition. If we just leave that windmill in a pathetic condition outside in the environment, what will happen? It will catch rust. Okay, it can rust, and many of the things can happen to the windmill so that it may get destroyed. Okay, so regular maintenance is required like painting, oiling, greasing, okay, which will help nothing but to keep that windmill in a proper condition. So this was regarding the three forms of energy, yeah, from where we can derive electricity. Okay, so first form was thermal energy plant or thermal power plant. Second was hydro power plant, from where we derived hydro power. Thermal power we have seen hydro power which is derived from water, and we have also seen wind power. Okay, so wind power which is derived from wind energy. Okay, so what are the things you need to learn from this is, first thing is how energy is obtained, as I have told you. Okay, what are the various things, like there is turbine, there is generator, and how the energy is derived, that is very essential, okay, for all of you all to remember. Okay, the next thing is advantages. What are the advantages of that particular form of energy, like thermal energy, wind energy, hydro energy? Okay, and what are the disadvantages? What are the drawbacks or what are the disadvantages of that thermal energy? Like thermal energy causes pollution, whereas wind energy requires wind speed which is very high. Should be more than the wind speed should be more than 15 kilometers per hour. Okay, the speed of the wind should be very high. Okay. So next thing is hydro power plant. So the cost of setup of hydro power plant, disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? It requires a huge area, first thing, for setup. Okay, the dams. For to construction of the dams, it requires a very high or large area. It also requires what? Nothing but the vegetation or the people who are staying behind the dam area, okay, they have to be shifted from one place to another. Why? Because that full area will be going under water. Okay, so they need to be relocated. So these are some of the advantages. There are some advantages as well as disadvantages of all these energy forms. Okay, so the last two energy forms we will be covering in the next video. Okay, the solar and the bioenergy. Yeah, these are the two energy forms which are remaining. Then this chapter will be completed. So thank you everyone. If you have any doubts, you can ask me those doubts and we can cover those doubts whenever possible. Thank you everyone.